the government is filing a review petition in the Supreme Court on the Vodafone tax ruling. We will get you details of that in just a minute. But that is what the government is going to do. Remember, the Supreme Court had ruled in favor of Vodafone at the end of January. And this is a case which had gone to the High Court of Bombay initially. Vodafone lost that case to the tax department. They appealed in the Supreme Court, and the final ruling, which came out on the 29th of January, ruled in favor of Vodafone. The 11,000 crore gain, the tax that Vodafone had to pay to the tax department, the ruling came in favor of Vodafone, and the amount that was deposited with the government had to be refunded to Vodafone. So now what we are picking up at present is that the tax department is, or rather the government is filing a review petition with the Supreme Court. But let's get you details of that. We've got Ashwin Mohan joining us from the newsroom.
That's right, George. In fact, this is a huge decision taken by the government because, remember, they were clearly on the setback after they had probably lost one of the biggest tax litigations being fought out at the Supreme Court. Now, the judgment was passed by the Supreme Court on 20th January, and in fact, the government had a period of about 30 days to take a final call on whether or not they are going to file a review petition. A review petition basically means a plea that is made by the losing party to the Supreme Court to reconsider their decision and certain aspects of the decision. So that's essentially what a review plea means. And the deadline for the government for filing this review plea was February 19th. They have done that 2 days before. And what we understand from sources is that the government will be filing their review petition in the Vodafone tax case a little later today, sometime around the afternoon at the Supreme Court. Now, what I understand from top-level sources is that there was a lot of opposition to this particular move by the government. I understand that there were certain quarters of the government that were really opposed to this move. And finally, I understand that the Finance Ministry did have its say. And it's after the approval of Pranab Mukherjee, the Finance Minister, that the decision was taken day before yesterday. That's what I'm picking up from sources. Now, what are the quick few grounds based on which they are filing this review petition? Now, the first main ground that I understand from sources is that the government, after having received legal advice from its top legal officials like the Attorney General and the Solicitor General, is of the opinion that this judgment is based heavily on FDI, that's foreign direct investment. And the government's stance is that this case wasn't entirely related to FDI because it was just about a shared transaction between two foreign partners. There was no money coming into India. And the government seems to be really concerned about the emphasis on foreign direct investment that has been addressed in the judgment. So that's the first main ground on which they have filed the review petition. The second main ground is that the government is also of the opinion that this judgment could have a huge adverse impact on the government's fight against black money. And the third ground, of course, is the fact that the government believes that there are several arguments and there were several cases related to the Supreme Court proceedings that were brought forward by the Income Tax Department that were not considered by the Supreme Court in its judgment. So these are a few of the grounds based on which the government is of the firm opinion that a review plea should be filed, and in a few hours from now it will become official.